Well, hey everybody, how are we doing today? We got a little bit of something different, a little bit of like sun breaking through. It's still a little cold. We got the sweatshirt out. It's still a little cold. We got Mozzie. What are you doing? Looks like it's ready to spring. Watch out. Keep an eye out for me. Anyways, we're gonna make a little divergence, a little left or right turn, whatever it is, away from some of the content we've been sharing recently about a lot of the hubbub going on in the UK and some nastiness with that whole world. And today I want to talk about something a little bit different, which is about, it's something that you've heard me talk about a lot, no doubt. But it's just one of those things that it's such a crucial aspect that of the success process with training that it bears repeating over and over and over again. So here's the deal. If you're having trouble with your dog, going to a trainer and getting some great skills and tools and all that stuff is awesome, right? It should help you have a communication method. It should help you have a way to share, I like this, I don't like this. It should give you some really great strategies for structure, for lifestyle, do's and don'ts, all that good stuff. That should be ACEs. The problem and the limitations come when the problem isn't just about, okay, I've got a dog who doesn't know the rules of the road, right? So you kind of have two different situations. You've got dogs that like don't know the rules of the road and haven't learned appropriate behavior, what's polite, what's acceptable, what's not. And then you've got kind of these like relationship issues. You hear that dog? It's not one of ours. And then you have relationship issues where the behaviors might be initially coming from the dog, but they're being exacerbated and deepened and worsified, even though that's not a word, but made worse by the relationship with the owner. And it's not intentional. Owners aren't looking to make their dogs worse. They're not trying to make things bad. They don't want their dogs to be a wreck or anxious or fearful or possessive or protective, all the stuff you hear me talk about. But that's what happens. What happens is if you've got a dog who doesn't have it together, who is not a cupcake, who has got some stuff under the hood, got some anxiety, some fear, some nervous, some insecurity, some pushy, whatever it might be, wherever it might fall. And then we have an owner who's in a space where they're not ready to be that kind of pillar that the dog needs as far as leadership, structure, guidance, rules, accountability, consequences, all that stuff. Then what ends up happening is this kind of codependent thing. Owners start to lean on the dogs. You've heard me talk about leaning versus leading. It's in the new book, by the way. Owners start to lean on the dogs, and these dogs start to fall apart at the seams, right? So whatever behavior issues they had prior are now, boom, shot through the roof. So anxiety becomes, from a 4 to a 9 or a 10. Insecurity around people becomes from 4 to a 9 or a 10. Possessive, like potential, may not have even been there, might have been a 0, is now a 7, 8, 9, or a 10. Reactivity on walks might have been just nervousness and uncertainty and I'm not sure what to do. And now with an owner that's exacerbating it, not leading the dog, coddling the dog, doing a lot of babying and leaning, then all of a sudden you get a dog that's out on a walk who's now also maybe possessive of the owner, protective of the owner, feeling like both of you are out there together, freaked out. The point is that the relationship, and you guys all, I know you guys know this, so it's a broken record, O'Shea, but the relationship is so essential, so crucial to success that you have to really, as an owner, make the divergence or the change or the shift away from just like, I'm just gonna go get training tools. If you've got this situation, I've got to do more than just get training tools and strategies and a game plan, because that's not going to be enough. That's going to give you mechanics. You're going to know how to use tools. You're going to have a communication methodology. Your dog's going to know stuff, but it's not going to change the mental state of your dog if your relationship is still in a toxic, uncomfortable, unhealthy space. It's going to it's going to give you this like false sense of like, we've got something, but we don't really have something. I've got these tools and I'm working on this stuff, but like I haven't done the work here or the work here. And when that's the case, and these are posts that I've talked about before in blogs and things like that. It's something like when the tools don't work, and that's about when relationship stuff overrides training, when relationship stuff between the owner overrides tools, overrides structure, overrides all the stuff that works really well. But the relationship is so powerful. The way dogs feel around their owners, the associations that they have around their owners are so powerful that they will literally override just about anything trainers can do to help the dog get into a better space. You've all seen it. Dog's great with the trainer, and then all of a sudden the owner arrives and everything goes to hell. Whether it's excitement, anxiety, fear, possessiveness, freaking out, whatever. That's not because the dog's not been trained. That's because the relationship is sparking all of these feelings. This thing I always talk about, that this is how I feel around you as the dog, right? The dog is like, this is how I feel around you. It's not just what I do around you. What I do around you comes from what I feel around you. What I feel around you is unsure. What I feel around you is empowered. What I feel around you is protective. What I feel, and then so all of those behaviors come from that feeling. So it's just an incredibly important piece of the puzzle that you can't cheat the universe, right? It's one of my favorite sayings. You can't cheat the universe. You can't be like, well, I'm not going to do my work here. I'm not going to do my work here. My dog's a wreck, and he or she is the only thing I have in the world that I'm really connected to, that I really feel safe with, that I really feel love with, that I really feel happy with. So I'm going to have all of these deep emotional. Hang on one sec. Get out of the way of the ladies. I'm going to have all these deep emotional connections to my dog, and not do the work to resolve that. And yet I'm going to hope that the training's going to override it, right? It's like, there's got to be a good analogy in there somewhere. I'll see if it comes to me, but yeah, ladies are just coming out, going for walks. You can't cheat the universe by saying, I'm going to go do training, but I'm not going to. It'd be like, almost like, I'm going to go to marriage counseling. I'm not going to listen. I'm not going to pay attention. I'm not going to care. I'm not going to give it any value, but I'm going to show up every day, right? I'll talk with them when the counselor asks me questions. I'll talk. Yes, that's obviously something I shouldn't be doing. There's a big difference between going through the motions, the easy part, and then doing the hard part of the shifts here and the shifts here. And I know for me personally with my dogs, nothing changed, like truly changed, until this and this changed. And we see the same thing with owners. So if you are in a tough spot with your dog and you're using great tools and you've worked with a great trainer, or you're doing it yourself and you're still feeling stuck, you're still feeling like you're not getting somewhere, you're still feeling like the behaviors are overriding all this stuff, it's time to take a really, really, really hard look at what's going on relationship-wise. And I know this is like been beat into the ground so many times, but it's beat into the ground because it's so important, and it's so easy to overlook. It's so easy to tell yourself a story about like, yeah, I took my dog to a trainer. I spent all this money. I've been to 4 trainers. I spent all this money. We go out and we train every day. But have you done your work? Have you really done the hard work? Because to be honest, spending that dough, that's the easy work. Marching your dog around with the tools, that's the easy work. Figuring out what's going on between you and your dog and why you're leaning on your dog emotionally so heavily, why your dog means everything to you, why you can't connect to other human beings, why you still have issues, grudges, traumas, and generalized feelings of negativity towards people, but not towards dogs. That's the hard work. if you guys can get anything out of this, get the differentiation of the easy work and the hard work. And a lot of people will dress up and frame like money and time and effort as being the hard work, but it's not. That's the easy work. The money, time, and effort is the easy work. The hard work is heart and mind work. It's the shifts, it's the doing the hard stuff to figure out what's cooking with you that's standing in the way of you having a different relationship with your dog. And as long as you're holding on to old stuff that's unresolved, it ain't gonna happen. All the best tools in the world, all the best training in the world, all the best trainers in the world, like trainers, we talk about this all the time, where we see dogs that are fabulous dogs that can do so well, and then the relationship comes back into the picture and the dogs are unhinged. It's legendary, and it's legendary for a reason, because it happens so often. So dogs become unhinged by unhinged relationships, and then we try and like shore it up and like stick our finger in the hole in the dike, or plug the dam that's leaking through training, through the easy stuff, through the minimal stuff, not the real stuff. So that's what I want you guys to get with this post more than anything, is the balance, because a lot of people say it's just the owner. If the owner gets right, the dog's right. It's BS. Or it's just the dog. Get the dog right and everything's fine. That's BS too. It's the combination of the two. It's always the combination. It's easy to sell one or the other, but it's not true. I've seen too many dogs and too many owners. It's not. It's the combination of get the dog right, get the human right, and when you line both of those up, with the right tools, right strategy, right approach, and everybody's done their work, the real work, then you can make amazing things happen. That's when we get emails from owners. They're like, it's so amazing, so much great stuff is happening. I can't believe this is my dog. It's like, well, it's not just your dog. It's that you've done some amazing work, right? Not just the training work, but you've made shifts. You've made conscious decisions of shifting your heart, your head, not out of a loving space for your dog, but what does your dog represent? And how do you feel about the rest of the world? And how do you feel about you? How's your self-worth? How's your feeling about humanity? How's, like, you know what I mean? Like, we're complex creatures. If we don't do our work, it's going to come out somewhere. It's going to come out with our coworkers, our spouses, family, friends, and our dogs. So, you want great stuff? You got a problem dog? Do all the work. Work on the dog, work on you. It's not one or the other. Work on the dog, work on you, and work hard on both. Then you can close that gap and make some great stuff happen. But anybody who's just, it's that old, like, taking the dog to like the mechanic, or like an appliance, that old saying, like, that ain't gonna work. You can have a dog that knows stuff, but will feel something that will override everything that it knows, and you'll stay stuck, and you'll have behavior problems that will just continue and continue and continue. That's why doing your personal work in conjunction with the dog work is essential. So hopefully that helps. Any questions, hit me up. I know this one has been belabored, but I hope that this gives you a little bit of a different kind of like view on it, of really the balance point between the two worlds of human and dog, and putting them together is where the magic's at. Yeah, too many people try and sell one or the other, and getting those two together, that's when you can really make some stuff happen. So anyways, Sean from The Good Dog. Ladies are out here getting all prepped and ready to do their thing. I'm gonna get out. Got lots of stuff going on today. Hope you're all well. Any questions, hit me up in the comments, and have an awesome day. Talk to you guys. See ya.